Hello everyone and welcome to This Week is Stupid for the 24th of April 2022. Today I have a surprise for you. I will start with some news from Japan. Noni, I know what you're saying. Like, V, you never had news from Japan before. You had news from all over the world, but never from Japan. Well, here we go. A judge reinstates money of driver whose wages were docked, and he has won the famous sum of 33 pennies after he died. Like, what do you mean after he died? Well, look, when he was alive, he did a mistake. He did a human error. He was driving the train, chaga, and at one point, he took a wrong turn. He corrected his error, and because of this, he was 1 minute late. Can you imagine this? In Japan, 1 minute late? Horrible. And due to this, he received a fine. And the man just could not take it because it was the principle of it, goddammit, and he sued the company. Initially, he sued for the damages, but he also wanted 2.2 million yen for emotional distress. I mean, he couldn't sleep at night. It's like, what do you mean I was 1 minute late? Because you know what the company did, chat? Do you know what the company did? They apologized. They apologized to the people for the inconvenience. And the man pointed out that there was no one in the train and there was no one in the station. So by apologizing for the inconvenience, it made him look bad. So this caused him emotional distress. And they actually went back and forth with the lawsuit. The man passed away, and after he died, he won. And he won 33 pennies. And there is a moral lesson here somewhere. I don't really see it, but I think it's a little bit to do with the principle of the matter. Like, if you know you're right, you're right. It doesn't matter that it's 33 pennies. 33 pennies come and go with inflation, but the price of your honor and dignity is eternal. The price of honor is eternal is also probably the progressive British police motto, because they will not let any type of slight fly by. For example, there is this university lecturer by the age of 55 who has mooned, he showed his plump tushy, in front of a speed camera. Why did he do this? Because he's terminally ill. And he wanted to feel alive. He wanted to feel like a real man as he passed by the speeding camera and showed his plump ass in front of it. That was too much for the British police to handle. Do you know how many officers they sent after him? Well, let's look into this picture and see if we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's enough. You know what? I think it's 6. Because there's also the officer holding the camera. See, a lot of people fail to take into account the person holding the camera. 6 officers. 6 officers after this young man. My God. Taxpayer money well spent. This is how the government spends people's money and provides safety. Do you feel safe? I want to move to London now. I want to move there. I mean, look how safe things look like. I mean, if for one small crime they send 6 officers, I think there's absolutely no crime there. I think crime is at a record low. I mean, if you were a criminal, would you have the audacity to do anything in London? I wouldn't. Now, apparently, the video went viral on social media. Unfortunately, I can't show it on YouTube because they don't like it when you show anything involving brutality is what they go. Brutality. So, you need to use your imagination. But yes, so he was being held down in his own garden after the police pulled outside of his home and demanded to be let in. La Polizia! We are the Gestapo! I'm sorry, we are the progressive British police! Let us in, so we may arrest you for the hideous crime that you have done. The charges he faces were shared in a photo of his notice by the Kidderminister Schuttel. My God, like, it actually does sound German, doesn't it? Kidderminster Schuttel. The sentencing for these may include months in prison time and thousands of dollars in fines. The initial arrest on suspicion of indecent exposure following the mooning left him gobsmacked. And the heavy-handed response, look, we just can't tolerate crime in a progressive utopia like the United Kingdom. In the mecca of progressiveness, London, you cannot tolerate. Like, if you let this one go, then people stop respecting the police. And if people stop respecting the police, what would we be but a nation of anarchy and barbarism? The wheelchair user, I don't know, the story keeps getting more interesting by the minute. The wheelchair user, who also has Parkinson's disease and heart and kidney problems, has accused the police of outrageous bullying. Outrageous! He was bailed following the arrest. Yes, they took him into the paddy wagon. Progressive, isn't it? I mean, this is what people voted for. They wanted progress. My God, are they not getting it? He was bailed following the arrest and said he was interviewed under caution in January 2022. I mean, look, the man has Parkinson's. He might snap at any point. You need to interview him under caution. Mr. Malcolm has now called the situation an absolute waste of public funding and said the stress of the situation has made his health worse. It is true, but you know what? It is also true. He's never going to moonlight again. I guarantee to you. That was the first and the last moonlighting he's ever going to do. He added, it's pathetic. This is an escalation of what they've done. You can't keep changing it and alter it until you find something that fits. In other words, they kept trying to pin crimes at him, like hoping something will stick. What are they going to come up next? They are literally looking for any little thing to get me on. I mean, you need to understand, look, the police officer in London, he's a progressive man. And despite appearances, he's a human being. He has a wife and child. Whenever he gives a fine, the boss congratulates him and he gets up the ladder. Maybe their wages are dependent on the fines they get. I don't know, like they did that in Soviet Union. I don't know if it's the same in London, but if they keep progressing, maybe one day they can reach the Soviet Union as well in terms of progress and ideological development. I pulled my trouser down and mooned at a speed camera. That's all I did. They are essentially admitting that there was no offense committed in the first place. There is nothing on this charge sheet says that I committed any initial offense whatsoever. Why were they kicking living daylights of me in the back garden if there was no offense committed? Because you insulted their honor. The police officer is like the samurai of ancient Japan. Honor is everything. And when you moonlight them, you insult the honor. So if the police are the samurai of the United Kingdom, who is the shogun? Apparently it's Nicola Sturgeon, a woman so powerful that she can transcend reality. You see, Britain is a state of law where everyone is under the law, but Nicola Sturgeon is so woman, such a powerful and strong woman that she transcends that reality. She is above the law. And not only is she above the law, she can laugh while doing it. Like, for example, here you have her without a mask. Unbelievable. Can you imagine this? I mean, she goes out there and she goes like, and she infects people. Like, legend has it that when she walks the streets, people go like, they are sent to the emergency room and doctors are panicking. The NHS is panicking. The diversity officers from NHS have been recruited into doctors because there's a shortage of staff. There is so much work. And they're like, damn you, Nicola Sturgeon. Why are you doing this to us? Why can't you just put on the goddamn mask like you're fucking supposed to? Because you made the law, for the love of God. But she doesn't, you know why? Because it's a symbol of status. She is the shogun. She gets to do it and you do not, so you can understand who is in charge. It's not that it's hard to do it. It's not that it would be difficult. But if she did it, how would you know that she is the one dominating you? You wouldn't. So obviously she's not going to. So not only is she not going to, but she's also going to laugh about it so she can clearly drive the point home. As you can see, the First Minister visited an East Kilbride barbershop and she wore a tartan mask when photographers and camera crews were present for the photo op. You need to understand the way this virus works from my personal observations, and this is specifically true for the politicians, okay? Like, not for the rest of us, but for the politicians, the virus is at its most powerful when the cameras are rolling. When the cameras are rolling, then everyone is like masking up, and when the cameras are gone, they take the mask off, as you can see here. So, apparently, she is approaching a man, taking the video of her, and brazenly strokes his head while mimicking the sound of an electric razor. She is having fun with this. This is funny. She can make you do whatever she wants, and she doesn't live by the rule because she transcends reality. You know, when progressives wanted a strong and powerful woman, this is it. She is stronger than you. She is stronger than your mother, and she is stronger than your grandmother, if your grandmother can live that long, considering that she walks out without a mask. Whoa. Now, face masks in Scotland, they still exist. They will be lifted on Monday after she twice, like she stood in the way. She was that beacon of purity, that beacon of help. She stood in the way and delayed their abolition. Not once, but twice. And she stated that the members of the public must cover their faces indoor public settings, including barbershop. You know what I think? I think that maybe she thinks her constituents are ugly. And by covering up, it spares her retina. By the way I understood the thing with masks are, it's like, it's more to protect the others, right? So like if I'm wearing one, I'm protecting you, and you're wearing one so you can protect me. It's like we're protecting each other, right? So if everyone wears masks but the politicians, doesn't that mean that we're actually protecting the politicians? And I keep seeing this, you know, like you have the president or a prime minister, like they go on podium and they're surrounded by people with masks. Kind of like when the actors did it at the Metro Gala, like the actors didn't have one, but everyone else had one. It's almost like a symbol of status. You know, in my opinion, this is a good thing because it shows that they want you to be one of them. It's like, hey, do you want to stop wearing it? Like, why can't you become an actor? Why can't you become a politician? Anyone can become a politician. Just get the votes. Just get the votes, and then you too can be as strong as Miss Sturgeon. I love the fact how comfortable she feels about it. Like, she doesn't care. Why? Because probably the prime minister has already set an example. Like, Boris Johnson did the same. During a lockdown, when he kept you safe from your job inside your home, the Conservative Party was partying. And there's a scandal about it. I think he's like the first prime minister in the history of the United Kingdom, please correct me if I'm wrong, who is actually guilty of a crime while he is prime minister. So I gotta give it to Boris, you know, record blue wave in the previous elections, and he set another record. But maybe this is a sign that we need a new world order. We need something more progressive, more forward-thinking. Instead of having politicians, why don't we have doctors leading the nation?
Both surprised and disappointed because those types of things really are the purview of the CDC. This is a public health issue. And for a court to come in, and if you look at the rationale for that, it really is not particularly firm. And we are concerned about that, about courts getting involved in things that are unequivocally public health decisions. I mean, this is a CDC issue. It should not have been a court issue.
Now, some people were asking, why is the science stepping out of its boundaries and into the realm of politics? Because last time I checked, like when you go to the doctor tells you what pills you need to take, but it's up to you if you take them or not. Like, the doctor doesn't get you fired from your job. But no, like, we live in a more forward-thinking society where the science is now taking the place of the politicians. If only we had the time machine to send Mr. Fauci back in time and tell those founding fathers, no, you're doing it wrong. No, when you have the Constitution by the people... No, listen, okay? Put the doctors in charge. Shut the fuck up. Put the doctors in charge. put the CDC in charge. Like this is how the United States should function, okay? The CDC, then the Supreme Court, and under the Supreme Court you have the president, and then you have like everything else, huh? Wouldn't that be a much better place? Wouldn't that be a much more safe and progressive environment? Forward thinking, yes, forward thinking. I know, the Constitution, it's so inconveniencing. Why did those people make that goddamn document? Why couldn't they just let the private companies and the CDC governing? Is what I don't understand. Now you may be wondering, how are the doctors so smart? Where are they getting their wisdom from? And if you look here at the boss of the World Health Organization, thank you, Bill Gates, for sending a copy of your new book. I fully agree that we must act on COVID-19's lesson and innovate so that we can deliver swift and, most importantly, equitable, motherfucker, health solutions to prevent the next pandemic. So he is holding the book, Bill Gates, How to Prevent the Next Pandemic. Now, I just have a question. Wouldn't it be in a normal world where Bill Gates reads this man's book? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Like, shouldn't Bill Gates read the boss of the World Health Organization book on how to prevent the next pandemic rather than the other way around? Like, here's the thing. If I write stuff, will he read it? Probably not. But you know what's the difference between me and Bill Gates? I at least have a medical degree. Bill Gates does not, but I guess this is how the world works, right? It's moody. You know, they might talk about, equitable, and leftist buzzwords. What in reality is the cold, hard capitalism that dictates and bends even the leftist to its will. The powerful American capitalism dominating the World Health Organization, which then dominates other nations, as things should be. America, fuck yeah! Now, speaking of America, I have a very important announcement to make. You see, last stream, I did the worst crime imaginable. I have hurt our democracy. And you may wonder, how did V do this from his little table in a faraway country? Well, turns out I have spread misinformation. You see, there was the clip where the US president, after holding a speech, was shaking hands with the invisible girl. And I showed that. I showed that to the public. And by showing that, I have done the misinformation. Because according to PolitiFact, it is false. Okay? Your eyes are deceiving you, comrade. Tavares. Your eyes are telling you what is not there. But at the end of the day, you know what PolitiFact is doing? Is not that it's telling you if it's true or false. It's telling you whether holding that opinion is acceptable or not in polite circles. And to say that the US president was shaking hands with the invisible girl, definitely unacceptable. You see, the clips of Joe Biden gesturing to those seated in the audience are being misconstrued to appear as if he was trying to shake hands with the air. It is a figment of your imagination. It is Pixar magic what you're looking at. So your eyes are wrong, okay? PolitiFact knows what's up. So now I'm nervous, because I want to show you another presidential gaffes, but what if it's a gaffe today and tomorrow it's PolitiFact? False. Your eyes are deceiving you, citizen. That's not what happened. You know what? I'll show it to you anyway, but I want you to promise me, okay? Pinky promise that you'll check PolitiFact tomorrow, because I don't want to spread misinformation. You need to fact check yourself. And you don't trust your eyes, you don't trust what you're hearing, you just look at PolitiFact. So let's look at the gaffe, but again, I want you to check PolitiFact tomorrow. If you don't check PolitiFact tomorrow, don't look at the gaffe.
On Title 42, sir, are you considering delaying lifting Title 42?
No, what I'm considering is continuing to hear from my well, first of all, there's going to be an appeal by the Justice Department, because as a matter of principle, we want to be able to be in a position where if in fact it is strongly concluded by the scientists that we need Title 42, that we be able to do that. But there has been no decision on extending Title 42.
But you know what? It really doesn't matter. Like, the truth doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters is what the corporations think. So, after removing the dislike button, YouTube has also deleted 2.5 billion dislikes from the Biden White House videos, data indicates. Now, isn't that progressive? I love when corporations do the right thing, when they support the right presidential candidates. That is your democracy. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed This Week is Stupid. I'm going to cut it a little bit short because today it's Saturday and we celebrate Easter under Orthodoxy. We don't do it as the heretic Catholics that do it improperly. No, we do it properly. We do it today. So I have to spend a little bit of time with my waifu. And this is Sunday when you're seeing it, right? Sunday, I used to stream with VTubers, but this Sunday, I was supposed to stream with Co-op, but she canceled. So I'll probably just talk about some interesting news that I didn't cover today, something with Elon Musk and Disney. So if you guys head over to my live stream channel, we can go through a couple of them. You may be asking, what is your live stream channel, V? Well, it's in the pinned comment. Look, it was very difficult for me to move the mouse down and put the link there. And I understand it's going to be just as difficult for you, but you love me, don't you? You really love me. So you're going to click the link and you're going to head over to my live stream and I'll entertain you there. And hopefully I'll see you in that chat and also in this comment section. Take care.